If you spend your paycheck and still feel broke, you're not imagining it. Your paycheck feels worthless because the money coming in hasn't kept up with the cost of living for most of your life. This isn't about laziness or poor work ethic. It's about a long-term economic shift where wages have stagnated, prices have risen, and everyday essentials now take a much larger bite out of your income than they used to. That's why many Americans work harder than ever but still feel like they're falling behind. On paper, wages have increased over time. Nominal wages, the raw dollar amounts people earn, have been rising. But there's a crucial distinction most people overlook. Nominal wage growth doesn't tell you how far your money actually goes. What matters is real wage growth, wages adjusted for inflation. Recent government data shows that real average hourly earnings did rise modestly over the past year, but the increase is small compared to decades of price growth. From December 2024 to December 2025, real average hourly earnings increased by only about 1.1%, and real weekly earnings grew roughly 2% when accounting for hours worked. That might sound positive, but when you zoom out, the bigger picture is stark. For most of the past generation, real wage growth has been slow or stagnant. According to research by the Pew Research Center, when adjusted for inflation, average hourly wages today have about the same purchasing power they did in the late 1970s. That means decades of work, innovation, and productivity haven't translated into meaningful pay increases for the average worker. Inflation, the rise in the prices of goods and services, directly reduces the purchasing power of your paycheck. When prices go up faster than wages, every dollar you earn buys less than it did before. From 2021 through mid-2025, consumer prices rose significantly more than wage growth, in many measures eroding real wages. One analysis showed that since January 2021, prices rose about 22.7% while wages increased only about 21.8%, leaving real hourly earnings slightly lower than 4 years ago. This is exactly why many people feel like they're earning the same but can't buy the same things they used to. Your paycheck might be bigger in dollar terms, but in real terms what it can actually buy, it hasn't kept pace with price increases. Even when wages rise modestly, the cost of essentials like housing, healthcare, childcare, transportation, and food can outpace those gains. That's why many workers find themselves living paycheck to paycheck despite earning more than past generations at the same age. Housing costs are a prime example. Over the past few decades, home prices and rents have risen much faster than median incomes, meaning more of your paycheck goes to shelter and less is left for everything else. While recent data suggests wages outpaced home price growth in some U.S. counties, housing affordability remains a struggle for many Americans overall. Healthcare and education costs have also climbed far above general inflation, further squeezing household budgets. When basic necessities consume a larger share of your income, there's less left over for savings, investments, or discretionary spending. Wage trends vary across the economy. While low-wage workers have seen some of the fastest real wage growth in recent years, median and higher-income workers haven't experienced the same gains. Overall wage growth for many workers remains modest. Part of the reason paychecks feel weaker isn't just inflation, it's structural changes in the economy. Over the past several decades, the U.S. economy has shifted away from manufacturing and middle-wage jobs towards service and tech sectors. Manufacturing historically provided stable, well-paying jobs with benefits. As that base shrank, the wage growth for many workers slowed. Globalization also played a role. When China joined the World Trade Organization in 2001, cheap imports flooded the U.S. market, which lowered consumer prices but also pressured domestic wages in manufacturing and other sectors. These long-term shifts mean that even as productivity and corporate profits have grown, average workers haven't seen proportional wage gains. That disconnect between productivity and pay is one of the core reasons many feel their paycheck doesn't stretch as far as it should. The experience of earning a paycheck that feels worthless isn't just economic, it's psychological. When people see prices rising on the things they actually buy every day, rent, groceries, gas, they feel the pinch immediately. But wage increases often show up slowly, in small percentages that barely register when weighed against the cost of living. A report from the American Psychological Association found that most Americans are concerned their salaries are not keeping up with inflation, and that concern itself creates stress and anxiety. This is important because human psychology doesn't measure financial well-being by abstract economic statistics. It measures it by lived experience. Can you afford your bills? Can you save for the future? Can you handle an emergency? When the answer feels like no, your paycheck feels worthless, even if the economy is technically growing. Government data shows some recent increases in real earnings, but the gains are modest and inconsistent across sectors. For example, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported a small real increase in average hourly earnings over a recent year, but that's not the same as a transformative boost that changes everyday life for most workers. Meanwhile, broader studies show that real earnings have stagnated across age and income groups in recent years, even with a strong labor market. A major study found that real earnings stagnated across all groups over the past year, indicating that inflation still undermines wage gains. This combination, small real gains mixed with ongoing price pressures, creates a sense of stagnation. You might be earning more, but it never feels like enough. Part of why paychecks feel weaker today is that the cost of living has changed dramatically compared to past generations. Essentials like housing, healthcare, and education now take up much larger portions of household budgets than they did decades ago. Even if wages rise modestly, these rising costs can absorb those gains before they ever reach your wallet. This dynamic makes it feel like your paycheck is shrinking, even when the numbers show nominal wage growth. One way economists measure the health of wages is by comparing wage growth to inflation. When wages grow faster than prices, workers gain purchasing power. When prices rise faster than wages, workers lose ground. Recent data paints a mixed picture. Some measures show wage growth outpacing inflation in recent months, suggesting a slight improvement in affordability. But long-term data tells a different story. Over several years, prices have generally risen faster than wages, eroding real earnings. This mismatch is the core of why paychecks feel worthless. Your income isn't growing fast enough to keep pace with the prices you actually pay every day. When your paycheck doesn't keep up with the cost of living, it changes how you live. You delay saving for emergencies or retirement. You put off buying a home. You rely on credit cards or loans to make ends meet. You feel like you're working harder but not getting ahead. That's not a personal failure, that's a structural economic reality that millions of Americans experience. Your paycheck hasn't become literally worthless, but its purchasing power, what it can actually buy, has been weakened by decades of inflation, slow wage growth, rising living costs, and economic shifts that favor capital over labor. And until wages grow broadly enough to outpace or at least match the cost of living, many workers will continue to feel like their paycheck isn't enough. If this made you rethink the way money actually works, subscribe now, because we break down the hidden systems shaping your paycheck, your spending, and your future. Don't just earn money, understand it.